Good evening, everybody. It's Moose Racing League Tier 2 time. We head to Qatar for round number 7. A short qualifying session is underway. Rich, how you doing, mate? Mr. Sebi, good to see you. Hope you're really well. I'm just trying to see if I can get an invite out to some people. Short qualification session has started. We don't have a lot of drivers in right this very moment in time, but I'm hoping that a couple more will join over the course of the next couple of minutes. We are, of course, racing at Qatar, but first, let's just take a quick look at the constructors' standings. Alpine leading the way, stretching their lead yet again last week as Red Bull jump up to second place. But Alpine, 57 points out in front. Williams, still at the bottom, picked up 4 points last week, but still bottom. What does that mean for the drivers' standings, I hear you ask? Well, it's Major Castleman leading the way. Good performance last week at USA, picking up that full 26 points. He takes the lead. Mintoki unavailable last week and unavailable again this week, it would appear. So not able to take part tonight. So has lost the lead in the championship and down to second with Gwenfro now up into P3. Sketchy Bull is up into P4, which is why Alpine are doing so well with 2 guys placed in that top 4. What we'll do, though, now is we will nip over real quick to the track map. The track map, it's Qatar, a flowing track. Obviously, very new to the Formula 1 calendar, but a flowing track nonetheless. Only that one DRS zone, bit tricky. Lots of elevation. You can see up to turn 16, the final turn, then down the hill all the way to turn number 1 again. Right, let's get on with it. The capture card, as per usual, will need reactivating, but here we go. It is indeed a session. And so far, let's just get the track map on, because I think we've got a driver on a lap. We have indeed. It'll be Major Castleman, I believe, who will be first out, setting that purple sector, of course, being the first car out on track. Qatar, known for track limit penalties. It is quite difficult. We've now got 15 drivers in. That's great news. Major Castleman leading the way in the championship and leading the way out on track tonight, it would appear. Don't know whether Sebi is actually on a lap as well. Let's just check in. Yeah, Sebi's on a lap as well. 58-8 split. He's just about to come round. I would imagine, actually, he's just about to start a fresh lap. He sets a 1:23 to be leading the way. Major Castleman will be next to cross the line. As he just about manages to keep that one valid. And the race down towards the line, he sets a 1:22.3 on the medium tyre. Let's just take a quick look at those tyres then. Sebi and Major Castleman both setting it on the... oh, there's me collecting some rewards points. Happy days. There we go. Rich Sebi wants to make sure he completes this lap. Or completes this race, should I say. Right then, let's just check in with City of R then. Purple in Sector 2 with a 57. So on the soft tyre, we'd expect these guys now to begin to set some quicker times on that softer compound of tyre. A night race, of course, here at Qatar. So the track will be a little bit cooler than it would, of course, be during the day, during the sunlight hours. And we're going to see City of R race down towards the line. I mean, the 21s there, a 21.3, a full second quicker than Major Castleman. Fatweed's going to be the next driver on a lap in the McLaren. So it looks like he's actually restoring some battery. We'll see what his split time is in Sector 1 as he crosses the line now. 31.5. That is actually a purple in that first sector. So building himself up and maybe farming some battery to have a real good run then throughout that final sector. Does look like he's on a push lap. Tricky in Sector 2. A couple of real technical parts of this track, but it does seem to flow quite nicely. I didn't quite catch that lap, but it looks like to me he's actually probably going to pit here. He's not running any battery, and he's got a red flashing light. So I would imagine we'll see Mr. Fatweed check in to the pits. Freddie then coming through Sector 1 right now. He's got a hot lap time, 30.2. He's purple in Sector 1 as well. Tricky to drive this track and understand exactly where you'd utilise your ERS. City of R joined at the top of these provisional standings at the moment. It's a front row lockout for Mercedes. Gwenfro there up into second position. Johnny won the front row. As D-Master sets a 22 flat in the McLaren. But 2 purple sectors then for Freddie Rizal. We've got yellows, looks like a Haas travelling slowly down towards turn number 1. But Freddie Rizal setting himself a couple of purple sectors. Is he going to challenge these 2 guys at the front? He is. He splits the 2 Mercedes then to go second fastest, Freddie Rizal, at 23.3. 200 slower than City of R. And half a second quicker than Gwenfro. We've got the 2 kick Saubers then. Let's check in with Mr. Titan then. He's invalidated, unfortunately. Happy Like Pies is on an outlap. We do have one of the... that is an invalidated lap from Fate Mano. We've got Gwenfro probably going back into the pits. Yeah, he's going to go out of pits. Then we've got D-Master. He'll be going back into the pits as well. Is that Black Baller then? Black Baller next. He's on a slowdown lap as we've got yellow flags in Sector 1. And Aston Martin getting out of the way of the 2 kick Saubers. We've then got the Red Bull of Rich Sebi. And then we've got a Haas. The Haas of KDM. KDM set a 122.2 to go 6th fastest. And he will be, he'll invalidate there anyway. Then we've got, is that Com45 next up? Com45 will come round the final turn to post himself a lap. Does get on the ERS button quite slowly, quite late, but gets himself up the slowest of our cars so far with a 23.5. And we also had Sketchy Bull there going through to claim P3 provisionally. With just under 10 minutes left of this session then. Let's check in with those 2 kick Saubers then. The kick Saubers then. We've got 16 drivers in, which is great news. A purple sector there for Happy Light Pies. So he's looking to get a little bit out of shape. Going through there. Plenty of invalidations so far then. Oh, as he gets right round, loses the back end. That's going to cost him some serious amount of time. He's used all his deploy as well. And goes 6th fastest with a 22.1. Definitely cost himself some time there, though, with that mistake coming out of the final corner. I think that's it in terms of people on hot laps at the moment. We've got Bouncy and Fatweed on outlaps as Bouncy actually just begins his first hot lap. So down to turn 1 he goes. Then plenty of curb on the inside. And then we go into this real flowing part of this this hot lap. Plenty of curb can be taken. Then we come up to these 2 90-degree right-handers then. Again, you can take lots of curb. This is where the setups can be crucial, just so that you don't lose any time. Into the slow left-hander we go as well, the hairpin. Decent time that in Sector 1 by the look of it. Looks like it's purple for me. Then into this technical part of Sector 2. Still quite free-flowing though, but again, still particularly technical as we come to the next slowish left-hander. He'll be getting on the throttle nice and early though. No wing open, of course. Only 1 DRS zone. When we go down to the end of Sector 2, it's a 57.6. More yellow flags in the middle of the sector. You'll note that he's not lifted off the gas at all there. No down changes either. He was 7 all the way through flat and then 6. Down towards the final turn we go then. Down to turn 16. I say down. It's actually the top of the course. Top of the track, this. And then it's downhill all the way to turn 1. But of course, we do have the finish line coming up first. And Moo Bouncy in the Aston Martin puts himself into P5. City of R's back out again. And is 700s quicker through Sector 1. And again, a little bit quicker there in Sector 2 as well. Over a 10th and a half up then for the guy who provisionally sits on pole. 30 13 of you in here right now as City of R gets down to turn 16 and then on the throttle full again. So can he get himself into the 20s perhaps? Not quite. Does get a 21.2 though. Goes just over a tenth quicker to set a even better lap. Freddie Rizal on an out lap now. D Master will be on his next run. He's just about to cross into the end of Sector 1 territory. John does work. How you doing? Yeah, it was a really nice lap that by City of R. Beg your pardon, by Bouncy. Bouncy did cost himself on that final turn though, of course. Would have lost some serious pace on the final stretch. So I'm pretty sure he can go a lot quicker as well. Might cost himself 8 tenths, which would of course put him on provisional pole himself. D-Master just coming towards the end of Sector 2. Has to just lift ever so slightly there. But he is 2.5 tenths up, D-Master. Get himself to the 21.7s. That would put him up into P4 currently. There will be a Red Bull crossing the line first. Again, he just has to lift ever so slightly there. Make sure he stays within the track limits. But here he goes then, the McLaren on that race down towards the line. He got some good time as he made up enough to get himself in. Yeah, nice. P4 for D-Master OG as Major Castleman actually crosses the line to pip him ever so slightly. 6 thousandths behind his teammate Sketchy Bull. So the Alpines, strong performance in qualification from the Alpines. Strong again from the Mercedes currently. Do we have any Williams drivers? We don't have any Williams drivers in this evening, so Williams will be struggling yet again in this particular race. They'll do more than struggle, in fact, to pick up some points. They won't pick up any points because there aren't any drivers here. Is this Mr. Titan about to cross the line? It is. Mr. Titan, can he get into the 20s? Is he? No, he's not going to get into the 20s. He just about squeaks into the 22s, though. Almost gets himself into the 21s. And he will fly in formation with Happy Like Pies, P8 and 9 for the 2 kicks hours. Here comes, is this Black Baller? Or Fake Mano? Fake Mano's about to cross the line. And Fake Mano throws down the gauntlet to the Mercedes of City of R, putting himself on provisional pole with a little under 5 minutes left with a 21.1, 200s quicker for the Red Bull V-Carb racing guy. D-Master will be no doubt coming into the pits. And then we've got, is that 2 Alpines coming in? Yeah, 2 Alpines into the pits. So is Sketchy Bull on another flyer. Sketchy Bull's on another flyer. Is he improved? He has. Up to P3 for Sketchy Bull. 400 slower than City of R. And just under a tenth and a half quicker than the Red Bull of Freddie Rizal. We've got a Ferrari out and about. Here's the Ferrari. Oh, it's an invalidated lap by by Sharky. Beg your pardon. Here comes Black Baller. He'll be setting himself up for a fresh run. Mr. Titan will also throw himself into the pits then. Just under 4 minutes left then of this short qualification session. Turtle, how the devil are you, sir? Hope you're doing very well. It's good to have you here, my friend. It's good to have you here then. So the only 2 cars out on track at the moment that were kind of in hot lap mode are Sketchy Bull and Fake Man, who currently sit P1 and P3. Outlaps for Gwenfro and Rich Sebi. Let's see where Rich Sebi is. Rich Sebi's about to start his lap then. So let's stay on board with the Red Bull driver as he heads down on his next run. He's got a bit of a gap to close down. 1.6 seconds to the leaders at the moment in the Red Bull. It's a fast track, this Qatar track. Sebi will be looking to trouble those guys out in the front. He's going to take these 2 90-degree right-handers. See what the improvement is then in Sector 1. 6.5 tenths. So we talked about 1.6 seconds he'd need. He's done half of the work. More than half of the work. He's got a purple Sector 1 and he's 6.5 tenths to the good then. Just about manages to keep it valid on the exit of that turn in Sector 2. And then it's down towards the slow left-hander. Or one of the slow left-handers. Obviously not the slowest. Gwenfro with a 21.8. Currently sat in P7. Down towards turn 16 then. Seems like a pretty clean lap this from Sebi. Has he managed to pick up any more time though throughout Sector 3? That's the question. He has indeed. 1.3 second improvement then for Rich Sebi. Super lap from him. Up into P5. Gwenfro's invalidated, but had already set himself that lap. And then plenty of cars on the outlap then as the clock ticks down under 2 minutes. That might be it for Gwenfro. He might be able to do himself one more cooldown lap, or is he just... No, he's just going to go for it now. No, he's not. He's diving into the pits. He's diving into the pits. The red flashing fuel light means that he will go no further. Out comes Bouncy. He's got a little bit of time to get himself to the start-finish line. Next car on a hot lap will be Com45. Currently sat at the bottom then with that 23.5 seconds. Will need an enormous improvement as he makes a mistake in Sector 1 at turn number 2. Gets himself out of shape. Still plenty of time left in the lap, though, to get that mistake back. Seems to have a very loose back end, though. Down to the hairpin we go then for the Aston Martin. On the throttle coming out pretty soon. Plenty of time left. Utilises a little bit of battery then in between corners. On the exit of the slow corner, uses a little bit of battery, which is good. Just about manages to keep that valid. When will he utilise the battery next? Not quite yet. Let's see what this split is. So he's a second to the good and a purple Sector 2. Everybody gets a purple Sector 2. Just about manages to keep that valid, by the way. Looked a bit ropey to me. We've got a car over in the gravel there. Looked like the other Aston Martin, perhaps. Yes, it was. Down to the final turn then. For Com45, currently projecting to be around about 12th. Can he make a big improvement? He can, up to 10. There's a whole host of cars cross the line to perhaps start their final lap. Gwenfro's in the pit. City of R. Has City of R improved? He's 600s to the good. That would be enough to get him on pole. Has he managed to keep it in that way? He has. By 7 thousandths of a second. City of R currently sat on pole. Where's the other Alpine? Major Castleman on the run down to the line. Can he get in the 20? And then he bests him again. 400ths. Happy Like Pies does improve as well to go up to P7. It's tight at the top, though, with 500s covering the top 3. Fake Mano, after a purple Sector 1, really going to be pushing this V car hard through Sector 2 then. Plenty of cars following him, so we will have to keep our eye on that clock because plenty of cars will be setting laps after Fake Mano is 2 Aston Martins behind him. One of which was Com45, so he won't settle up, but Bouncy will. As Freddie Rozelle takes pole provisionally with a 21 flat, 900ths quicker than Major Castleman, championship leader. Here comes Fake Mano then. Can Fake Mano make it work? Sketchy Bull gets into the 20s. And Fake Mano can only go 4th quickest. So Sketchy Bull into the 20s. 2/10ths quicker. Super lap from him. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will be it. Sketchy Bull will claim pole position for the Alpines here at Qatar. The championship constructors, the constructors championship leaders, Alpine in 1st and 3rd. Joining Sketchy Bull on that front row, though, will be Freddie Rozelle in the Red Bull, and he'll be looking to challenge down towards turn 1. Super stuff from Sketchy Bull. Super stuff from Alpine. There we go then, and there we have it. Sketchy Bull on pole position, and joining him on the front row, it will be Freddie Rozelle. Then it's Major Castleman and Fake Mano on the second row with City of R and Mood Bouncy with a good improvement there in P5 and 6. P7 is Fatweed in the McLaren with the Red Bull of Rich Sebi relegated down to P8. Happy Like Pie is the first of our kick sounders in P9, P10. It is D-Master in the McLaren. We've then got Gwenfro, P11, P12 it's Sharky, 13 it's Com, Mr. Titan 14, Black Baller 15, and KDM in 16th position. What a good qualification session that was, ladies and gentlemen, and I am looking forward to seeing how these gentlemen tackle this track on race day. All good in the hood here at Qatar. Of course, we expect the weather to be nice. We expected it to be nice at Las Vegas last week, of course, and we had a sprinkling of rain in qualification. No sprinkling of rain here in qualification or indeed on the race. Looks like, obviously it's dark, but the skies do indeed look clear. The sugar-free Red Bull dub incoming, says Jack. Well, we'll keep our eye on that then, sir. Rich Sebi, yes, right in the middle. Yeah, Sebi, you know what? Not too bad that from you, sir. A good qualification session, a real good improvement on that next lap that you did. All the race strategy, of course, now. I don't know what the race strategy is for Qatar. Whether it's the usual medium to hards or hard to mediums. Or whether anybody will dare venture out on the soft tyre. We will find out presently, though. Usual whooping and hollering from the crowd above the pit lane there. You can see on the DHL. Bouncy, I think I just cemented myself in Tier 2 with that lap, says Bouncy. Well, it was a good lap, sir. Up into P number... Were you up into P6 there? P5 or 6? Super stuff, mate. Good lap from you. That is for sure. Nice to have a few more drivers in as well tonight. So we got the 16. And by the way, here we are. We're up. We're running. And it's Tier 2 Moose Racing League. Round number 7 at Qatar. And we are away. It's Sketchy Bull on pole. Leading the way down then to turn number 1. Closely followed by Freddie Rozelle. Major Castleman looking to make a challenge there. But here comes Fake Mano up into P3. Taking that P3 from Major Castleman. But he will battle side by side with the V-Carb. As he goes off track, actually, a couple of times there. And Major Castleman does indeed prevail and retain that P3 spot at the beginning of this race. 29-lap race here at Qatar. As D-Master picks up 3 seconds for his interpretations of track limits here on lap number 1. And we've had a big incident. It's Com45 at the back. Bits of car all over the road. KDM picks up 10 seconds of penalties for a collision. And it looks to me as though Com may well have left some parts of his car out on the track. Yes, we can see. Very important on this track as well. He will need to come and pit and get that wing replaced nice and early. 6 seconds off the pace already. And plenty of work to do for the Aston Martin, man. Have we got any other cars with any damage? You'd think so, yes. There's end plates aplenty missing on the Haas of KDM after that collision. Mr. Titan looks like he's in position. Plenty of... oh, yeah, we've got a missing end plate as well on Black Baller. He'll be displeased. As he goes down, Sketchy Bull then leads the way through lap 1. And yeah, we'll see Black Baller peel off into the pit lane. So we should see 3 cars peeling into that pit lane then at the end of lap number 1 to get wings replaced. Nice and early though. If you're going to get a wing replaced, may as well get it done this early. Plenty of time left to collect yourself and get yourself back up into the mix. Gwenfro down in P11. Let's take a quick look at the changes. First, we'll have a look at the tyre strategy. So medium tyres for pretty much everybody. Everybody's who's gone into the pit lane has thrown the hard tyre on. As Kick Saubers, I think that was probably Happy Like Pies. Yeah, was just squeezed ever so slightly off track. A little bit out of shape there from Fatweed. Well, let's take a look at the position changes for the winners and losers so far. Not much has happened. We can see not much has happened over the course of the first lap and a half. A couple of positions up for Rich Sebi, 3 up for D-Master, 2 down for Bouncy, 3 down for Fatweed, and then a couple of positions up for both Mr. Titan and Blackballer, calm down 2. Here we go then, lap 2 of 29 at Qatar, and we are well in the mix as it begins to settle down. Freddie Rozelle crosses the line and will be first. The gap then between the leader and P13 is 10 seconds. So, yes, Fatweed actually takes a position from Happy Like Pies then as they go around turn number 1 into turn 2. Very close by the look of it. Not very good camera angle that with the stand in front. Do we have a DRS train all the way down to P11? Yes, we do. DRS train all the way down to P11 then. City of R getting close. Rich Sebi close. City of R gets a little bit out of shape there at the beginning of Sector 2 around that hairpin. So what are we saying in chat then? Fake Mano. There was a shout for a sugar-free Red Bull to win the race. And Fake Mano's made a good start. Still up in P4 where he started after that battle with Major Castleman through the first sector of lap 1. Things are beginning to settle down then as we'll see gaps. Don't forget, there's only one DRS zone on this track. So if somebody puts in a good lap and somebody has a mistake, then we will see somebody drop out of DRS zone. So we'll get ourselves into a couple of DRS trains. But as it currently stands, speaking of mistakes, that was Rich Sebi going wide. Off track at the final turn. But gets himself back in safely. Fatweed picks up his fastest lap of the race. And we'll see some action here for sure going down into turn number 1, is it? City of R looking to make a challenge on Fake Mano. Mercedes on sugar-free Red Bull. Gwenfro then looking to get close as well to the back of Happy Like Pies. Having a little look on the inside there as we come towards the two right-handers. Move Bouncy is the second of our drivers to pick up a 3-second penalty for his interpretation of track limits, not matching that of the race director. City of R and Sebi battling it out for P5. But big long DRS train. Gwenfro's still pretty tight there. Move Bouncy also tight on the back of D-Master as well. He's in between two slices of McLaren bread then to make himself the Aston Martin sandwich of this evening. Are we going to see somebody make some moves then down this long straight? Happy Like Pies has been broken. He is now over a second, doesn't have DRS, and Gwenfro does. Therefore, Gwenfro is able to make the move down the home straight into turn number 1 to claim P10 from Happy Like Pies. Happy Like Pies relegated down into P11. As Happy Like Pies does go round, and that's a crash. Are we going to see a safety car? Full safety car then. Happy Like Pies losing it at turn number 2. Oversteer, too much curb, into the wall. And that's Happy Like Pies out of this race. He will be distraught. It looked like he'd got himself settled down quite nicely. He had lost DRS to Fatweed, which allowed Gwenfro to make that pass. But I would imagine we'd now begin to see some of these cars perhaps come into the pit lane and throw on the hard tyre. That's I suppose for Black Baller, Com45 and KDM, that has helped those guys. KDM's actually had 2 pit stops right now. So maybe that's helped those 3 back markers. As Black Baller will pass the safety car here. First safety car of the night then here at Qatar for Moose Racing League's Tier 2. If you're in chat tonight, if you're tuning in, there's 13 of you, I believe. Maybe a little bit more. We'll have a quick look. If you are here right now, let us know who you think's going to win this race. That's the first safety car of the evening, of course. We will see 1 or 2 guys dive into the pits, but we've also seen a couple of the guys stay out as well. So Major Castleman and Fatweed have stayed out. We've then got everybody else has dived into the pits to throw on those hard compound tyres. Some people will obviously think that it's a little bit too early. Sharky stays out as well, preferring track position over getting the stop out of the way. That means that they'll be hoping for perhaps another safety car a little bit later on in proceedings, probably over the course of the next 5 to 10 laps. But an eventful start to the race then. Some incidents on lap 1 and then a major incident on lap 4 with the kick sauber of Happy Like Pies relegated to watching. Black Bull unable to make any positions up, even though he stayed out. Because he was quite a long way behind after the incidents on that one. But it's Major Castleman, the championship leader, that's picked up the safety car here. Leading the championship by a handful of points from Mintoki, the McLaren driver, who is not here again this evening. The seat being taken tonight by D Master OG down in P7. I imagine we'll get racing again on lap number 8. Cars of KDM. Trails at the back, just finished sector 1. So he will catch back up to this train at the end of lap number 7 to start racing again lap 8. I think to start the safety car back up again, we'll probably try and jump on board with either Fatweed or Sharky, so we can have a look to see how they track Major Castleman on his restart. Whilst we're just waiting for the guys to get themselves around, let's just take a look at the position changes then, because that will have obviously caused a few more changes. So yeah, we can see here that Sharky's now up 9 positions. The big loser so far, Freddie Rizal, but of course he has made the stop. Freddie Rizal down 7. Up 9 then Sharky, up 5 for Fatweed, and a couple of positions up there for Major Castleman. Penalties that are on the board so far are just the 3-second penalties for D-Master and Bouncy. Everybody who has pitted opting to be on the hard tyre for possibly the remainder of the race. We can see the Haas in the background there, making its way to the back of this group, and that means we'll probably get going, and we'll get notification from the race director that we will begin racing again on lap number 8. In fact, we're trying to get some heat into his tyres, and there's the notification. Safety car will be coming in this lap, and we'll get going again for lap number 8. Plenty of cars trying to get some heat into their tyres then for this safety car restart. Plenty of distance to go yet until we get to the point where Major Castleman will hit that throttle. We will jump on just in case Major Castleman decides to go early. We will jump on board with Fatweed. See the Alpine there weaving left and right, trying to get more heat back in, as Fake Mano looked like he'd lost a couple of positions there. What happened with that? As there we go then, a little bit out of shape for Fatweed, means Major Castleman gets a nice 5.5 gap then, burning a little bit of battery there, a bit more heat into the tyres perhaps, trying to weave and lose that toe from Sharky. Is Fatweed in the McLaren? Is he going to be able to stick it out and get closer again to the Alpine of Major Castleman? Safety car restart then on this, the 8th lap of a 29-lap race. Sharky under pressure from Sketchybull straight from the off. And indeed, Sketchybull makes a move and gets himself up into P3. Obviously showed some real good pace in qualification to sit on the pole position. And now he's got a 1-second gap. So the 2 cars out in front then, Major Castleman and Fatweed, have managed to break it, and no, just comes back in within that 1 second then. Of course, no DRS just yet. A few changes of position from P10 downwards as Gwenfro, Rich Sebi, Mr. Titan and Com battle it out there for that top 10 spot. Sketchy 8 tenths back, will be within DRS range. Managed to get himself past the first of the medium tyre runners. As Fatweed seems to have lost a little bit of time there as D-Master. We saw him going wide at the top of the shot there, and that's another 3-second penalty for the McLaren. DRS is enabled then. We won't see DRS on this lap. It'll be the start of the next lap as we see a great shot there. People trying to get the toe all the way down to turn number 1. And we will see Moo Bouncy perhaps trying to make a move, on Fake Mano. And Aston Martin making a move on a kick salver of Mr. Titan there. Com 45 has dropped a little bit off the back. You see him there just taking that final turn. He will have Mr. Titan and KDM and Black Baller for company. But out in front, it's Fatweed trying to chase down the Alpine of Major Castleman. We've said that a few times this season so far. Alpines have been pretty dominant when it comes to picking up points and getting race results over the course of the first 6 rounds. As Sharky now on those older medium tyres has dropped out of DRS range. He's going to come under pressure, is the Ferrari, from City of R on fresh hard tyres in that Mercedes. That looks like a warning as well, no doubt, for Sharky. Maybe these tyres are not the play for the Ferrari man. Sketchy Bull gets right up on the back of the McLaren of Fatweed then. Are we going to see a move from Sketchy down towards turn 1? They'll both have DRS, by the way, chasing down Major Castleman in P1. And he will have a look. Fatweed will have a look. And Fatweed takes the lead of the race then. Major Castleman does retain P2. The two Alpines probably looking to work together. But for now, it's a McLaren out in front in Fatweed. Major Castleman and Sketchy Bull P2 and 3. City of RP 4. D-Master P5. Sharky relegated another position and picks up 3 seconds as well. Down into P6 on those old medium compound tyres. Will find himself under increasing pressure from these gentlemen on the faster, currently faster, hard tyres. You saw him getting out of shape there as well. So grip compromised for the Ferrari, and you'll look there, Fake Mano looking to try and get himself involved as Rich Sebi takes a position from Gwenfro a little bit in the midfield. Sharky looking like he might be struggling for grip already on 9-lap-old medium tyres. Sketchy Bull absolutely on the rear end of his teammate, who also on the rear end of Fatweed as they start lap number 11 here. This will be a move that gets done pretty easily. Fatweed does try and do a move. It's going to be a double move. The two Alpines, one either side of Fatweed. And Alpines have got to be careful here as they exit turn number 2. And Com is out. Com's decided to call it quits in the pits. It's Alpine out in front then. Sketchy Bull and Major Castleman, P1 and 2. As Moo Bouncy now is out. Big collision there. And we've got another safety car because we've lost Moo Bouncy. So within the space of 30 seconds, we've lost both Aston Martins from the race. And we're going to see our second safety car of the night. That's going to allow Fatweed, Major Castleman and Sharky to come in and get rid of those medium tyres and throw on the hards. Will we see anybody else pit? That's the question. Do we have any parts missing on any other cars that might have been involved in any kind of tussle there? Doesn't look like it. Looks like all cars are intact. See if we can get a close-up shot of Gwenfro in the Mercedes to see if he's still got all the parts of his car that he should have. Bouncy says, I hate netcode. Oh. Sorry to hear that, Bouncy, mate. So it'll be Sketchy Bull that picks up the safety car then. He will not pit. We've lost 3 drivers. Bouncy, Com45 and Happy Like Pies are the 3 retirees so far. 1 in the pits, 2 in the wall. As that's Sharky diving over towards the pit lane. The three that we expected to go into the pit lane do indeed go into the pit lane then to throw on their hard tyres. That will relegate them all the way to the rear of the field, of course. And a fourth car in the pits, and that will be KDM. Throwing on the medium tyres. A fresh set of mediums for KDM. So in theory, he should be the fastest car on the track on the restart. But of course, that's a long way to go on that set of medium tyres. Considering we saw Sharky really struggling for grip after 9 or 10 laps. So he'll definitely will have to whisper sweet nothings to those medium tyres, KDM, if he's going to take that Haas all the way to the end of this race without pitting for a possibly fourth time. Let's just see how many times he's stopped so far. Yeah, he's stopped 3 times so far. Everybody else, 1 stop. Major Castleman not pitting the first time round means he's now the championship leader's lost 9 positions and sits towards the rear of this field as we still are yet to approach half race distance. D-Master OG sat up there pretty at the moment in P3. Let's just double check on the tyre situation. Yeah, so D-Master doing a good job there, reserving up tonight for McLaren. Taking the seat of Mintoki, who currently sits second in the championship. He does have the 6 seconds worth of penalties, of course, which will impact him towards the end of this race. But a good job so far from the McLaren reserve. His teammate now obviously has dropped all the way down to P10 after showing some good pace at the start alongside Major Castleman and the other Alpine, which was Sketchy Bull. Sketchy Bull, of course, now the Alpine out in front. We will get going again on lap number 14 is when we'll get going again. D-Master to TS2, says Rich Sebi. You're doing okay, Rich Sebi, in P5 currently. Let's do a full check down then. So it's Sketchy Bull then as we start lap 13 under safety car conditions here. It's Tier 2 around Qatar for Moose Racing League on this Sunday evening. Sketchy Bull leading the way with City of R in the Mercedes, currently sat in P2. D-Master P3. We've then got the fake Mano machine, the V-Carb, sugar-free Red Bull in P4 with Rich Sebi P5. Gwenfro up into P6 now after those 3 cars jumped into the pit lane in the Mercedes, with Freddie Rosell in the Red Bull P7. Kick Sauber's Mr. Titan currently sits in P8, just ahead of Black Baller, who's on the oldest tyre so far on the grid. 11 laps on the hard tyre for Black Baller in the second of the V-Carbs, with Fat Weed on 1 lap old hard tyres currently sat in P10. Sharky thankfully got himself off those medium tyres as well after all that grip he was losing. He does have 3 seconds worth of penalties, but currently sits in P11 with Major Castleman, as we said, the championship leader in P12. And then we've got KDM making the bold strategy to throw on the medium tyre, who brings up the rear of our remaining drivers here on lap 13 of 29. We're about to get to the end of Sector 2, and we'll follow the same suit that we did last time at the safety car restart. Second safety car restart, this one. The second safety car will come in very shortly, as you can see there from our notification. And what we'll do is we'll definitely be jumping on board with City of R to see when Sketchy Bull goes. Sketchy has shown some pretty good pace, not just in qualification, but also in the race when he'd thrown these hard tyres on. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles this restart, and can he catch City of R sleeping then as they go to the top of the course then, turn 16. Again, a weaving Alpine out in front. City of R concentrating now, not weaving, just concentrating on looking at the back of that Alpine to see when it goes, and there it is. Interesting then, over to the right-hand side goes Sketchy to try and break that toe, but he is going to come under pressure down at turn 1. Fake Mano, Rich Sebi, D-Master OG all battling it out as Rich Sebi up into P3. Super stuff from him. Up into P3, gains 2 positions on that safety car restart. Sketchy Bull, City of R, Rich Sebi, D-Master OG, Freddy Rizal, Fake Mano, Mr. Titan, Black Baller, Gwenfro, and Fatweed. That is your top 10. As Major Castleman now relegated to the rear of the field, KDM managing to get past him on that safety car restart. But it's Gwenfro making a move here on Black Baller, is it? Black Baller making a move again, though. Trying to get on the inside of Gwenfro. Momentarily gets in front and then relegates himself back down to P9. Gwenfro just almost getting himself out here. We've got some good racing, and it looks like Fatweed has picked up a penalty there. He's off track again on that left-hand side, and he's side by side with Black Baller going into this long right-hander then. And they both take each other off, and Fatweed's out. Fatweed is out of the race. Black Baller coming into contact with the McLaren, and we've lost our 4th driver of the night. It's a full safety car yet again, as Fatweed and Black Baller went side by side. Black Baller will be coming into the pit lane to get his front wing replaced. But our 3rd safety car of the evening, and we're not even at half race distance yet. Sharky and Major Castleman. No, Sharky stays out. Major Castleman into the pits. Is that contact for him as well? No, that's just going to be a fresh set of medium tyres for Major Castleman then. Black Baller gets his wing replaced. Throws on some fresh mediums as well. So it's been an incident-strewn race so far here at Qatar. 3 safety cars within the first 15 laps. And that looked like 2 drivers at the end, start of Sector 3, just getting into it there. Round about turn 13, 14, taking each other off track into the wall, and Fatweed is the big loser who is out of this race. Disappointing for the McLaren man, because he had shown us quite a lot of pace there. Certainly in the early runnings on the initial medium tyre before he dived into the pit lane on the 2nd safety car. So a little bit of chaos here in tier number 2. Not for the first time this season, and probably not for the last time either. But it is Sketchy Bull out in front at this present moment in time. City of R as well. Rich Sebi, some good manoeuvre from... sorry. some good manoeuvres from Rich Sebi on the safety car restart. Got himself from 5th up to 3rd. D-Master OG lost a position down into 4th, but still good for him to be up in that top 5 alongside Freddy Rizal, who's got himself up into 5th. Fake Mano down into 6th at this present moment. Mr. Titan getting himself up into P7. Gwenfro in P8. And then our guys who... KDM on the medium tyre. I fully expected KDM to maybe throw some tyres on. Some fresh hard tyres on, or another set of hard tyres on. Because again, plenty of time to go in this race, and can he get those tyres to last the whole 29 laps, or certainly the 17 laps he would need out of them to finish the race. We are thankfully over halfway now, which is good. Well, all you need to do, Rich, is concentrate on your driving, not be an AI. Whilst we're under safety car conditions. Because no doubt if you get caught, somebody will probably report you. So be very mindful of that, sir. Focus your attention then. You're on for a podium as it currently stands. Plenty of time left to go then. And we will get racing again on lap number 17. So Sketchy Bull still leading the way then on lap 16 as 29. City of R in 2nd. Rich Sebi 3rd. D-Master OG in 4th. Freddy Rizal 5th. Fake Mano 6th. Mr. Titan 7th. Gwenfro 8th. 9th it's KDM with Sharky in P10. And then fresh tyres fresh medium tyres for both Major Castleman and Black Baller, who are the two remaining cars running. 4 losses so far, of course. Fatweed, Moo Bouncy, Com45 and Happy, as the safety car will be in here on lap number 16 and we'll get racing again under green flag conditions on lap number 17 of 29 at Qatar for Moose Racing League's Tier 2 race. We'll do the same thing again. I think what we'll do is we'll jump on board with Rich Sebi this time, so we can see how Rich Sebi handles this safety car restart. Fully expecting Major Castleman and Black Baller to probably be the fastest cars on track. The wide line into turn number 16. And then we get going as well. 4th gear. That looks to me as though Rich Sebi might get caught out on this safety car restart. And he is going to get caught out. He might have to burn some battery. And he will burn some battery. As Freddie Rizal takes P4 from D-Master. Oh, D-Master getting a little bit out of shape. He might lose another position. He's going to be under pressure from Fake Mano, is he, in that V-Carb? Rich Sebi looked as though he might have lost a position there, but managed to battle well by utilising some battery and has retained P3. As Fake Mano and D-Master do get into it then at the end of Sector 1. They still go side by side. Fake Mano will best D-Master then. Middle of Sector 2. Major Castleman, that will hurt the World Championship leader. 3-second penalties. Got himself up into P10. Both Major Castleman and Black Baller have managed to get past Sharky. They will be on that quicker, softer compound tyre. But out in front, it's Sketchy Bull looking to try and stretch away from the Mercedes of City of R. Rich Sebi and Freddie Rizal, the two Red Bulls flying in formation as we see Fake Mano going off, and that means he's picked up a penalty. So that's his first penalty, 3 seconds to him. Currently sat in P5. That will give hope, of course, to Mr. Titan. KDM, Gwenfro, guys without penalties a little bit further on down. As we'll see the Alpine. Is it Major Castleman, the Alpine? Yeah, it is Major Castleman. He'll try and get himself up further in. Just squeaked ahead of Gwenfro. Gwenfro on 12-lap old hard tyres, of course. Major Castleman will be looking to push on now. He'll have to try and make that medium tyre do as much work as it possibly can before it starts to go off at the back end of this race. He's got the 3-second penalty to contend with, so that might inject an element of urgency into him as Mr. Titan and KDM really getting close together. Mr. Titan just about managing to keep himself out in front of KDM, but has dropped off the back of D-Master OG by 1.2 seconds, which means he won't have DRS at the start of lap number 19 and will find himself under pressure down towards turn number 1. KDM, though, will come under pressure from Major Castleman as well. Major Castleman really sticking towards the rear end of this Haas. And as we've currently seen, the DRS zone is quite powerful here. Oh, looking down the inside at the final turn. A little bit of potential contact between the Alpine and the Haas, but it's avoided. And we might see Mr. Titan losing 2 positions here. We will. Is he going to come under more pressure? He's got a Mercedes. He's got the Mercedes of Gwenfro and Black Baller in the V-car, battling it out there for P10. But it will be up to KDM now to try and close this 1.8 second gap between P7 and P6. D-Master OG sticking to the back of Fake Mano, utilising the toe and, of course, the DRS to try and keep himself out of the clutches of the Haas of KDM. So D-Master and KDM both reserving up tonight. Good performances from them so far. D-Master a little bit out of shape, losing a little bit of time here in sector number 2. Fake Mano out in front. But it's City of R now, currently sat in P1. He's managed to get himself past Sketchy Bull, probably on that long home straight at the end of lap 18, start of 19. So Mercedes leads Alpine. We've then got the 2 Red Bulls in Rich Sebi and Freddie Bazell. Still flying in formation, 4 tenths back. Then it's Fake Mano, closely followed by D Master. The gap growing to KDM as the guys go round that final turn 16 and head down the hill all the way to turn number 1. We will see Major Castleman looking to make a move on the Haas and get himself up into P7. He's been moving ever since this safety car restart as Major Castleman, and now that gap is 2.1 seconds to the back of D Master OG. Will be looking to try on these faster, softer compound of tyres to close that down quickly, because these medium tyres will only be the better tyre for a short amount of time, I would have thought. Maybe for the next 5 or 6 laps if you're Major Castleman. Gwenfro still battling out with Mr. Titan. Mr. Titan's dropped off the back now as well, so he won't have DRS and will find himself under pressure from Gwenfro. Gwenfro currently sat 3rd in the championship, of course, behind both Major Castleman and Mintucky. Mintucky not racing this evening. You'll see the gap between Major Castleman and D-Master has gone from 2.1 down to 1.4 seconds. So good progress being made by the Alpine. We'll stick it out with Gwenfro, though, for the time being. As he goes around turn 16. Sketchy Bull sets the new fastest lap of the race, gets into the 23s. As you'll see all the cars down there at the long straight looking to try and break toes. And Gwenfro does indeed utilise DRS to get himself past the Kick Sauber up into P9. A 2-second gap has appeared, though, between himself and KDM. And Major Castleman, that gap now 1.6 seconds, not being helped by the fact that the big train in front of him, of course, all with DRS, managed to pull a couple of tenths on Major Castleman there down the home straight. And that'll be what D-Master will be hoping for, just to stick onto the back of that group so that they tow him along and keep him out of the clutches of Major Castleman. Lap 21 of 29 then, here at Qatar. And Sketchy Bull has retaken the lead of this race from City of R and has managed to get a good 8-tenth gap, 9-tenth gap now between the Alpine and the Mercedes. This is the time to push if you're Sketchy, because you have broken DRS. Can you maintain it though, Sketchy? That's the question. Or will City of R be trying to use a little bit of battery to try and get himself back into range? They've gone through the detection point, so City of R won't have DRS. Sketchy Bull will go down, and therefore City of R will come under pressure from Freddie Rozelle. Freddie Rozelle up into P2. And look how strong that is. We might even see City of R lose another position. Yeah, he's lost 2 positions. Both Red Bulls go through here. Start of lap 22, 29. And actually that DRS for the 2 Red Bulls has actually allowed them to close the gap on Sketchy as well. So they're within DRS range again. So all the hard work that Sketchy had done to get himself out of DRS of City of R, he's going to have to redo yet again here on lap number 22 to get out the clutches of the 2 Red Bulls. Down in the midfield is D-Master again. Major Castleman, though, look at the Alpine. The championship leader's got himself back right onto the rear wing of the McLaren of D-Master. So D-Master will, again, he will have DRS, of course, from the cars in front. But it looks to me as though Major Castleman, the quickest car possibly on the track at this present moment in time, managing to close that gap down from 2 seconds, 2 laps ago, down to 1/10, 2 tenths now, as they come through the rest of Sector 3 down towards the final turn. And having a little look on the inside, is he, as we go down turn 16? No, thinks better of it. Just making himself aware in the rear view mirror there as Sharky picks up another 3 seconds. All the cars with DRS then down towards the final turn. Sketchy Bull will retain the lead of the race. Major Castleman looking to have a quick switcheroo maybe on D-Master as Black Buller and Mr. Titan exchange positions. Oh, around the outside is Major Castleman having a look around the outside. More grip on those medium tyres. Is he going to get the job done down towards these 2 tight right-handers He does. He gets the job done and gets himself in front of the McLaren of D-Master. Major Castleman on the charge here. Lap 23 of 29. Don't worry about the safety car sign top left. We are not under safety car conditions. We've had 3 safety cars so far, but not right now. Rich Sebi has fallen away from his teammate. Can he get himself back into DRS before the detection zone in Sector 3? He's doing okay so far. But he will be under pressure from the Mercedes of City of R, who's under pressure from Fake Mano, Major Castleman, D-Master OG. Then that 2.9 second gap then back to the Haas of KDM. Guenfro 1.8 seconds back. A lonely race for him and a lonely race for Black Baller as well. But does have Mr. Titan for company in the Kick Sauber. D-Master picks up his 3rd penalty for track limits. That's going to drop him right back. He'll be right back in the clutches of some of the guys down in P9 and 10. As it currently stands, not managing to keep that McLaren within the track limits. And that means he's going to fall down the order towards the end of this race. City of R, though, looking to have a look on the inside of the Red Bull of Rich Sebi there at turn number 1. Thinks better of it, slides in back behind the Red Bull. Sketchy Bull still out in front then. Major Castleman, though, now in the midst of this pack of hard runners, will have to get some moves done early doors. He does have 3 seconds worth of penalties. We'll just check in with the penalties just to make sure. Yeah, 3 seconds for him, 3 seconds for Fake Mano, 9 now for D-Master OG, and it's 6 for Sharky. So as it currently stands then, your favourites for the race are probably the top 4. They've all managed to concertina themselves back up into DRS range. Mr. Titan still looking to try and harass Black Baller down there for P10. As we go through that DRS detection point, the top 7 cars all in a DRS train. Yeah, Snip, Pens are, sir. Sorry, I did put them on. I'll put them on again. 3 for Fake Mano, 3 for Major Castleman, 9 for D-Master OG, and 6 for Sharky. Major Castleman will have a look on the inside, will he, of Fake Mano. Thinks better of it again. Sketchy Bull still retains the lead of this race. What's the battery situation looking like? 80%. So again, these guys now, Rich Sebi's utilised a little bit more battery than most people out in front, as has City of R. Major Castleman and Fake Mano in the mid-30s, but not deploying any battery as we go throughout the remainder of Sector 1 into Sector 2. Major Castleman looks eager to try and get past Fake Mano. Will have to make a move pretty sharpish if he's going to try and catch any of the guys out in front and indeed gap them. Because, of course, that 3-second penalties, he will need to gap them pretty sharpish. Because lap 25 of 29, running out of time, is the championship leader, Major Castleman. P2 isn't racing tonight. P3 is Guenfro, currently sat in 9th. So as it currently stands, Major Castleman will still extend his lead in the championship, but he'll be wanting to make more of it. And he gets very close to that rear wing of Fake Mano there as they battle it out for P5. Are we going to see a change for the lead of the race? We've got Freddie Rozelle looking like he's going to make a move on the inside down at turn number 1 against Sketchy Bull. Yes, he does. Major Castleman does indeed get past Fake Mano as well. Fake Mano will battle back, though, as they go around turn number 1 into turn 2. But Fake Mano lets Major Castleman through. Doesn't fight that too hard. D-Master OG desperate for these guys to drag him along and try and extend that 4.8 second gap. Needs another 4 seconds over the last bit. Oh, here comes D-Master OG making a move on the inside, pushing Fake Mano off. Is that a push to pass, we ask? Will he have to let him back through? They did have a coming together. Will D-Master move over at some point and let the V-Carb back through again, though, or will he keep the pedal to the metal? He's 1.1 seconds now. He's lost DRS to Major Castleman. Major Castleman will be looking to try and challenge City of R. Into Sector 3, those boys go. The race win still very much up for grabs. It's an Alpine sandwich between two slices of Red Bull bread as the Mercedes of Gwenfro picks up 3 seconds himself. As does Sharky. Gets up to 9 seconds. Here we go then. Sketchy Bull retakes the lead of the race. Will he get charged down into turn 1 by Rich Sebi? Rich Sebi just falls in line in front of his teammate, but behind Sketchy Bull then. 3 laps of racing to go. And as it currently stands, we are at that point where Punju would say it's an Oprah race because everybody gets a point. Because, of course, here we do reward drivers that finish the race up to P12. So Sharky, even though he's at the back of the field, will pick up a point tonight. Which is good for the Ferrari man. The only Ferrari in the group tonight, of course. So D-Master desperately trying to get himself onto the back of this group then. They'll be coming up to the detection point about halfway through Sector 3. He's managed to get himself back in the mix. Major Castleman still harassing the Mercedes of City of R. City of R will be able to defend with 50% worth of battery and, of course, the DRS that he'll get from the 2 Red Bulls out in front. We've seen Sketchy Bull here right on the right-hand side of the track. Looking at from the rear wing, we'll see Freddie Rozelle take P2 from his teammate. The 2 Red Bulls working nicely together then, but Sketchy Bull on the penultimate lap of this Qatari Grand Prix here in the desert. We've got an Alpine leading the way in Sketchy Bull. We're looking back from that rear wing. Then Freddie Rozelle, Rich Sebi, City of R, Major Castleman, D-Master OG, and Fate Mano, who are now all up into the DRS train. And that DRS train will help the guys with penalties. That will help. Fate Mano, he's okay right now. So he'll finish at least P6. With D-Master falling below him. But D-Master will be pushing hard to try and widen that gap between himself and KDM to 9 seconds. Currently that sits at around about 7.5. So we're looking for another second half. The DRS will help him out. Major Castleman looking to get himself into the mix. But it's going to be a tussle for the podium. Let's just remind ourselves the tyres that people are on. 13-lap-old medium tyres for Major Castleman as everybody swings over to the right-hand side then. Sketchy Bull trying to break the toe, taking a defensive line into turn 1. A good defensive line it is as well as we start lap number 29 then, the final lap here at Qatar. It's Sketchy Bull leading the way from Freddie Rozelle. Freddie Rozelle closely followed by Rich Sebi, the 2 Red Bulls. It's then City of R, Major Castleman, D-Master OG. Can D-Master get that gap up enough that will allow him to go? And Sketchy Bull picks up 3 seconds. That's huge. Because that means that it looks like a Red Bull 1-2 as it currently stands. City of R has now got a chance to get himself a race win. He'll be trying to battle with Rich Sebi, but will come under increasing amounts of pressure from the Alpine of Major Castleman. So Sketchy Bull then, a big mistake from the Alpine driver, has opened the door for Freddie Rozelle and Rich Sebi, the 2 Red Bull drivers, to battle it out then as we enter Sector 3 for the final time. Which of the Red Bull drivers will take this race win? Currently, it looks like Freddie Rozelle is in plenty of room to take the race win. Let's get the penalties on real quick, then we can see what's going to go down. Sketchy Bull then on the race down towards the line. Crosses the line, but it'll be Freddie Rozelle that takes the win. Rich Sebi in P2. It's a front row lockout. No, it's not a front row lockout. So it's a 1-2 for Red Bull. Freddie Rozelle P1. Rich Sebi P2. City of R finishes on the podium P3. Sketchy Bull relegated all the way down to P4. Major Castleman P5. So the 2 Alpines flying in formation as well. Fake Mano finishes P6. P7 for KDM. D-Master didn't quite do enough to stay up in P7. 600s is the gap between himself and KDM at the end. Gwenfro finishes P9, P10 for Black Baller, P11 for Mr. Titan, and then crossing the line now, it's the Ferrari of Sharky to finish P12 and pick up the final point of tonight's Tier 2 race. What a race we had there. The mistake from the Alpine of Sketchy Bull as Rich Sebi picks up the... he's not in a V-carb, though. He's in the Red Bull, of course, as Rich Sebi picks up the driver of the day and completes a 1-2 for Red Bull. In first position, though, it's Freddie Rozelle taking tonight's race win around Qatar in Tier 2 at Moose Racing League. Second, it's Rich Sebi. Third place, it's City of R getting himself up onto the podium. What a cracking race that was. Plenty of safety cars in the first half of the race, but a clean second half with no safety cars and very little in terms of incidents. Track limits did prove to be a game changer then for certainly the top three guys who didn't get any track limit penalties. It's Freddie Rozelle that picks up the race win in the Red Bull. Rich Sebi P2, City of R P3, P4 relegated. It's Sketchy Bull with that 3 seconds. Major Castleman in P5 in the Alpine, but also with the fastest lap of the race, also picks himself up an extra point. Fake Mano P6, P7 is KDM with D-Master OG finishing P8. P9 Gwenfro, P10 Black Baller, P11 Mr. Titan, and the final car to finish is Sharky with Fatweed, Bouncy, Com45, and Happy Like Pies, the guys who DNF'd this evening. Well done, everybody. Certainly well done, Rich Sebi, and certainly well done, Freddie Rozelle as well. That double 1-2 for the Red Bulls tonight around Qatar. Congratulations to you guys. Well done. Super stuff. Great race, that one. And yeah, let's just dive back into the camera 1 second. Yeah, Rich Sebi, you can go and visit the bathroom now, sir. Now you've finished your race. Congratulations to the 2 Red Bull drivers tonight. Certainly to Freddie. For that race win. Super stuff from our lobby host as well, it would appear tonight. I'm sure it was Gwenfro, but it just told me it was him. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Tier 1. Please, if you're here viewing Tier 2 right now, there's 17 of you watching, please make sure you go and click back on our logo there. That's the end of Tier 2. Tier 1 will be underway very shortly, no doubt. Go and cheer on your favourite Tier 1 driver. There are elite drivers, of course, here at Moose Racing League. And let's just see who's running that one for you. See who is running Tier 1. It looks like our good friend D-Master OG, who is putting yet another shift. That guy does a shift. He's commentated at least 1 tier tonight. He's just raced a tier. I think he's just raced 2 tiers. And now he's going to commentate Tier 1. So D-Master OG will be running the Tier 1 stream tonight. That will be starting very, very shortly. Go and jump in with those guys. See who can come out victorious in Tier 1. It's a big old night for Red Bull, though, in Tier 2. As penalties and track limits cost Alpine positions. But the Red Bulls were there to take advantage, and they take the 1-2 tonight around Qatar here at Tier 2. Thanks so much for tuning in. Go and tune in with the Tier 1 boys, and I shall see you guys next week yet again. I might even get a race next week. Who knows? As we tackle the next round here. It'll be round 8. I'm just trying to think where it actually is. Where will round 8 be next week? Round 8 will be next week. I've got absolutely no idea. There you go. There you go, and there you have it. Let's have a quick see if I can find it. Because it'd be nice if I managed to give you the race schedule, wouldn't it? There we go. So, yeah, after Qatar, it's Abu Dhabi next week, of course. We follow the IRL calendar. And then we'll have 2 rounds after Abu Dhabi. We've got Imola and Jeddah as our 2 remaining rounds. Well, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Much appreciated. Well done, everybody. Cracking race. And I shall see you all next week. Have a fun rest of your Sunday. Go tune in with Tier 1. They are the quick boys. And we'll see you again next week here in Tier 2.